What if I told you there is a Toyota Land Cruiser in the Australian outback with over 1 million kilometers on the odometer, still running its original engine and transmission? It sounds like a fairy tale, right? But it is real, and it is not alone. While modern SUVs are crumbling at 100,000 miles with electrical failures and turbo replacements, there is a secret world of old-school SUVs built so tough they have earned legendary status in war zones, deserts, and the harshest conditions on Earth. Today, we are counting down 12 SUVs engineered like military equipment. These are vehicles that laugh at time, mock planned obsolescence, and simply refuse to die. Stick around because number one is literally the most indestructible vehicle ever built. Top 1. Jeep Grand Cherokee 1993 to 1998. The first-generation Jeep Grand Cherokee ZJ with the legendary AMC 4.0-liter inline-six, producing 190 horsepower, represents American SUV engineering before bean counters ruined everything. This was not some luxurious mall crawler. This was a legitimate off-road machine wrapped in a surprisingly refined package that introduced the world to the modern luxury SUV concept. Paired with either the bulletproof Chrysler 42R 4-speed automatic or the even tougher AX15 5-speed manual, this Grand Cherokee delivered capability that modern Jeeps cannot match. Here's what makes the ZJ legendary. That straight-six engine is virtually indestructible. Owners routinely report 300,000 plus miles with nothing more than routine maintenance, oil changes, cooling system refreshes, and the occasional water pump. The inline configuration is inherently balanced, reducing stress on components, while the cast iron block and simple design mean there is almost nothing to break. There is no variable valve timing complexity and no turbochargers to fail, just honest agricultural torque that pulls the ZJ through anything. The Quadra-Track and Select-Track four-wheel drive systems are equally robust mechanical transfer cases that actually work for decades. The interior is agricultural by modern standards, but built from materials that do not delaminate or crack. You are looking at $3,500 to $8,000 for clean examples, which is absurd value for this capability. Rust is the enemy, so check the rear hatch area and frame carefully. But find a rust-free ZJ, and you have got an SUV that will outlive anything modern Stellantis produces. The ZJ proves simplicity equals longevity. But wait until you see what Toyota engineering accomplished at number 11. Top 2, Toyota 4Runner, third generation, 1996 to 2002. The third generation Toyota 4Runner with the legendary 5VZ-F 3.4-liter V6, producing 183 horsepower, is what happens when Japanese engineers are told to build an SUV that absolutely cannot fail under any circumstances. This V6 earned its reputation in the harshest environments imaginable, including Middle Eastern deserts, African jungles, and the Arctic tundra, and it simply refused to die. This is not the most powerful engine, but it is one of the most reliable power plants ever installed in a production vehicle. What makes the 3.4-liter V6 legendary? Toyota designed it with old-school simplicity, featuring a cast-iron block, aluminum heads, and a timing belt instead of a chain for easier field replacement, with engineering tolerances that prioritize durability over efficiency. Owners routinely report 400,000 to 500,000 plus miles with nothing but timing belt replacements every 90,000 miles in basic maintenance. These engines handle severe abuse that would destroy modern turbocharged motors, such as overheating, missed oil changes, and years of towing beyond capacity, and they keep running. The third-gen 4Runner itself is built like a brick with body-on-frame construction, a solid rear axle, and interior materials that age gracefully. The manual transmission is bulletproof, while the 4-speed automatic is nearly as tough. Ground clearance is generous, approach and departure angles are excellent, and the aftermarket support is massive. You are looking at $8,000 to $16,000 for clean examples with reasonable mileage, and prices keep climbing as enthusiasts recognize these as investments. This 4Runner represents peak Toyota reliability, agricultural, unstoppable, and honest. But does Japanese engineering match what American trucks accomplished? Number 10 answers that question. Top 3, Chevrolet Tahoe, GMC Yukon, GMT 400, 1992 to 2000. The GMT 400 generation Chevrolet Tahoe in GMC Yukon with a legendary Vortec 5700 5.7-liter V8 producing 255 horsepower represents American truck engineering at its absolute peak. This small block Chevrolet V8 traces its lineage back to 1955, refined over 4 decades into one of the most reliable and most durable engines ever mass-produced. Paired with the robust 4L60E 4-speed automatic transmission and full-time or part-time four-wheel drive, these SUVs deliver capability that modern trucks cannot match despite their fancy electronics. What makes the Vortec 5700 legendary? It is a traditional pushrod V8 with simplicity as its superpower. There is no variable valve timing complexity, no cylinder deactivation to fail, and no turbochargers to explode, just proven American iron that makes torque from idle and runs forever. Owners routinely exceed 300,000 plus miles with nothing more than intake manifold gasket replacements, around 150,000 miles in basic maintenance. The engine note is that distinctive small block rumble that sounds purposeful and mechanical. The GMT 400 platform is equally robust with full-frame construction, a solid rear axle, and interior materials that survive decades of abuse. These SUVs tow exceptionally well, handle off-road duty without complaint, and parts availability is infinite since the same engines powered everything from Corvettes to delivery vans. You are looking at $5,000 to $12,000 for solid examples, which is ridiculous value for this capability. The GMT 400 proves American engineering delivers when they stick to proven designs. Rust destroys these in the Northeast, so inspect carefully, but find a Southern example and you have got an SUV for life. But does American iron match what is coming at number 9? Keep watching. Top 4, Mitsubishi Montero Gen 2 and Gen 3, 1991 to 2006. The second and third generation Mitsubishi Montero, known as the Pajero internationally, with either the 3.0-liter V6 making 173 horsepower or the legendary 3.5-liter V6 producing 200 to 215 horsepower, represents Japanese engineering excellence that most Americans never discovered. These SUVs dominated the brutal Paris-Dakar rally for years, which tells you everything about their durability and capability. Mitsubishi built the Montero to survive conditions that would destroy Land Rovers and embarrass Land Cruisers. What makes the Montero legendary? The 3.5-liter 6G74 V6 is one of the most underrated engines ever built, featuring a robust SOHC design, forged internals, and simplicity that ensures longevity. Owners report 250,000 to 350,000 plus miles with basic maintenance, and these engines handle severe off-road abuse without complaint. The Super Select four-wheel drive system is brilliant, offering two-wheel drive, four-wheel high with the center differential locked or unlocked, and four-wheel low, giving you capability for any terrain while improving fuel economy on highways. The chassis is overbuilt for serious off-road work. Independent front suspension delivers better ride quality than solid axles, while the rear limited slip differential provides traction modern SUVs cannot match. Interior quality is excellent with genuine leather and real wood trim in higher trims and build quality that ages gracefully. You are looking at $4,000 to $10,000 for clean examples, which is absurd value considering the capability. The Montero's biggest problem was that Americans ignored it, so resale values tanked, which makes these incredible bargains. Find a well-maintained example, and you have got an SUV that combines Land Cruiser reliability with better on-road manners. But can Mitsubishi match what Nissan accomplished? Number 8 will surprise you. Top 5, Nissan Patrol Y61, 1997 to 2013. The Nissan Patrol Y61 is virtually unknown in America, but legendary everywhere else. With the TB DE 4.8-liter inline-6 producing 245 horsepower, it represents Japanese over-engineering taken to its logical extreme. This SUV competed directly against the Toyota Land Cruiser 80 series in the Middle East, Africa, and Australia. In many markets, it actually outsold its Toyota rival. The Patrol earned its reputation in the harshest conditions on Earth, including desert patrols, mining operations, and military service, where failure simply is not acceptable. What makes the TB48DE engine legendary? It is one of the largest naturally aspirated inline-six engines ever mass-produced, and Nissan built it like a marine diesel. It features forged internals, massive displacement, and tolerances designed for extreme heat and dust. Owners routinely report 400,000 plus miles with nothing more than timing chain, tensioner replacements, and basic maintenance. The power delivery is smooth and linear, with no turbo lag, just instant torque from idle, which is perfect for towing and off-road crawling. The Y61 chassis is agricultural and proud of it, featuring body-on-frame construction, coil spring suspension all around, solid axles front and rear, and ground clearance that laughs at obstacles. The interior is simple but functional with durable materials, straightforward controls, and air conditioning that works in 50-degree Celsius desert heat. You are looking at $15,000 to $30,000 for imported examples or finding one in Alaska or Hawaii where they were sold. The Patrol Y61 proves Nissan could match Toyota reliability when they wanted to. These SUVs are absolute tanks that refuse to quit. But does Nissan engineering match what Ford built? Number 7 answers that. Top 6 Ford Excursion 7.3-liter Power Stroke 2000 to 2003. The Ford Excursion with the legendary 7.3-liter Power Stroke, turbo diesel V8 producing 235 to 250 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque is the largest SUV ever mass-produced by an American manufacturer. It is powered by arguably the most reliable diesel engine ever installed in a light-duty vehicle. This is not just an SUV, it is a moving fortress that laughs at modern emissions regulations, scoffs at 100,000-mile powertrain warranties, and refuses to acknowledge the existence of mechanical failure. What makes the 7.3-liter Power Stroke legendary? It is a mechanical diesel with minimal electronics, no complicated emission systems, no DPF filters to clog, and no DF fluid to worry about. It just has a robust cast iron block, forged internals, and a single Garrett turbocharger that has been proven for decades. Owners routinely exceed 400,000 to 500,000 plus miles with nothing more than injector cleaning, turbo servicing, and basic maintenance. The torque is intoxicating, as 500 pound-feet feels like unlimited pulling power for towing massive trailers. The Excursion platform is equally overbuilt. Based on the F250 Super Duty truck chassis, this SUV features a full frame, a solid rear axle, and towing capacity up to 11,000 pounds. The interior seats up to 9 people comfortably, and space is nearly unlimited. Parts availability is excellent since components are shared with Super Duty trucks. You are looking at $18,000 to $35,000 for clean examples, and prices keep climbing as diesel enthusiasts recognize these as investments. The 7.3-liter Excursion represents peak American diesel engineering before emissions regulations destroyed reliability. Find one well-maintained, and you have got an SUV that will outlive 3 modern competitors. But can American diesel match what is coming at number 6? Absolutely not. Top 7 Land Rover Discovery, Series 1 and 2, 1994 to 2004. Now, suggesting a Land Rover for reliability seems insane, like recommending Italian cars for electrical reliability, but hear me out. The Discovery Series 1 and 2 with the Rover 3.9-liter or 4.0-liter V8 producing 182 to 188 horsepower earned legendary status not for electrical reliability, but for mechanical durability when properly maintained. Yes, the electronics are British nightmares, but the drivetrain, chassis, and core mechanical components are virtually indestructible. This is the SUV that conquered continents, served in African safari operations, and earned respect in the harshest conditions. What makes the Discovery legendary despite its flaws? The Rover V8, originally a Buick design from 1960, is aluminum, lightweight, and remarkably simple. The engine itself is bulletproof. Owners report 200,000 to 300,000 plus miles when oil is changed religiously and cooling systems are maintained. The chassis features long travel suspension, solid axles, and capability that embarrasses modern luxury SUVs. The interior has quirky British charm, featuring alpine windows for the kids, stadium seating, and materials that age with character. Here is the catch. Electrical gremlins are real. Rust destroys frames in salt states, and cooling systems require religious maintenance. But address these proactively, and you have got an SUV delivering capability modern Land Rovers abandoned for luxury. Parts availability is excellent through specialist suppliers, and the enthusiast community is passionate and helpful. You are looking at $3,000 to $10,000 for solid examples. The Discovery proves British engineering delivers when you accept their quirks and maintain them properly. These SUVs are flawed but fascinating, demanding but rewarding. And speaking of quirky reliability, number 5 will shock you. Top E8 Lexus LX 470, 1998 to 2007. The Lexus LX 470 is essentially a Toyota Land Cruiser 100 series wearing a tuxedo. That combination of Toyota's legendary off-road capability wrapped in Lexus luxury creates one of the most reliable, most capable, and most desirable SUVs ever built. Under the hood sits the legendary 2UU Zephy 4.7-liter V8, producing 230 to 275 horsepower. This is an engine so overbuilt and so obsessively engineered that it routinely exceeds 500,000 miles with nothing but basic maintenance. This is automotive reliability taken to its absolute extreme. What makes the 2UZ legendary? Toyota designed this V8 when they still believed in over-engineering everything. It features forged internals, individual coil-on-plug ignition, variable valve timing, and tolerances tighter than German competitors. The result is that owners routinely report 300,000 to 500,000 plus miles with nothing more than timing belt and water pump replacements every 90,000 miles. The engine is whisper quiet, buttery smooth, and delivers power in a linear, refined way that feels effortless. The LX 470 platform is equally legendary, featuring full-time four-wheel drive with a locking center differential, height-adjustable suspension, and capability that matches dedicated off-road vehicles. Inside, you will find Mark Levinson audio, premium leather, real wood trim, and build quality that ages gracefully over decades. The ride quality is supple, the silence is remarkable, and the presence is undeniable. You are looking at $15,000 to $35,000 depending on mileage and condition. The LX 470 represents the peak of body-on-frame luxury SUVs, capable, comfortable, and absolutely bulletproof. Find one with maintenance records and you have got transportation for life. But does Lexus luxury match pure Toyota toughness? Number 4 answers that. Top E9 Toyota Land Cruiser 80 Series 1990 to 1997. The Toyota Land Cruiser 80 Series with either the 1FZ-FE 4.5-liter inline-6, producing 212 horsepower, or the 1HDT 4.2-liter turbo diesel inline-6, making 163 horsepower, represents Toyota engineering at its most uncompromising. This was not built for suburban school runs. This was engineered to survive Australian outback crossings, African safari operations, and United Nations peacekeeping missions in war zones. The 80 series earned legendary status by simply refusing to die under conditions that destroy lesser vehicles. What makes the 1FZ-FE legendary? It is one of the most overbuilt inline-6 engines ever mass-produced, featuring a cast-iron block, forged internals, and engineering tolerances designed for extreme abuse. Owners routinely report 500,000 plus miles with nothing but timing, belt replacements every 90,000 miles, and basic maintenance. The engine note is that distinctive inline-6 smoothness, refined, mechanical, and confidence-inspiring. Power delivery is leisurely by modern standards, but torque comes on low and steady, which is perfect for serious off-road work. The 80 series chassis is agricultural and proud of it, with full-time four-wheel drive featuring locking center and rear differentials, a solid front axle, coil spring suspension, and approach angles that embarrass modern SUVs. The interior is simple but durable, with materials that survive decades of abuse, air conditioning that works in extreme heat, and controls that remain functional for life. You are looking at $15,000 to $40,000 plus for clean examples, and prices keep climbing. The 80 series represents pure Toyota reliability with no compromises, no shortcuts, and no planned obsolescence. These SUVs are investments that appreciate while providing capability. But can even the legendary 80 series match what is coming at number 3? Keep watching. Top 10. Mercedes-Benz G-Class W463 1990 to 2018. The Mercedes-Benz G-Class, specifically the W463 generation, with the OM606 3.0-liter turbo diesel inline 6 or the M113 5.0-liter V8, represents German military engineering adapted for civilian use. The result is an SUV that is virtually indestructible. Originally designed for military service in the 1970s, the G-Wagon earned legendary status in the harshest conditions imaginable. This is not a luxury SUV pretending to be tough. This is a military vehicle that happens to have leather seats. What makes the G-Class legendary? The chassis features 3 locking differentials, body-on-frame construction, solid axles front and rear, and engineering that prioritizes durability over comfort. The OM606 diesel engine is one of Mercedes' greatest achievements. It is a mechanical inline-6 that routinely exceeds 500,000 miles with minimal maintenance, no complex emission systems, and no fragile electronics. Just robust German engineering from an era when Mercedes built vehicles to last generations. The driving experience is deliberately agricultural. Steering is vague, ride quality is truck-like, aerodynamics are non-existent, and fuel economy is laughable. But step off the pavement, and the G-Wagon transforms into an unstoppable mountain goat that crawls over obstacles with contempt. The interior, especially in later models, features premium leather, real wood trim, and build quality that ages gracefully. You are looking at $40,000 to $100,000 plus, depending on the year and specification. The G-Class proves German engineering delivers legendary reliability when designed for military duty rather than quarterly profit targets. These SUVs are investments that appreciate while providing unmatched capability. But does German military engineering match pure Japanese toughness? Number 2 answers that definitively. Top 11, Toyota Hilux 4Runner 1989 to 1995. The Toyota pickup trucks and 4Runners from 1989 to 1995 with the legendary 22RE 2.4-liter inline-4 producing 116 horsepower or the 3VA-VZE 3.0-liter V6 making 150 horsepower represent peak Japanese reliability engineering. These vehicles earned legendary status not through power or luxury, but through absolutely supernatural durability that borders on the absurd. This is the generation Top Gear tried to destroy and famously failed. They drowned it in the ocean, set it on fire, and dropped it from a crane, and it kept running. What makes the 22RE legendary? It is one of the simplest, most robust engines ever designed, featuring a cast-iron block, SOHC head, mechanical fuel injection, and engineering that prioritizes longevity over everything else. Owners routinely report 400,000 to 600,000 plus miles, with nothing but timing chain replacement and basic maintenance. The engine is agricultural, slow and buzzy, but it absolutely will not die ever. The power delivery is leisurely, but torque comes on low for serious off-road capability. The chassis is equally legendary with body-on-frame construction, a solid rear axle, and simplicity that means everything is fixable with basic tools in remote locations. These trucks served in every conflict zone, every mining operation, and every remote location where failure means death. The interior is Spartan but functional with durable materials, straightforward controls, and air conditioning that works for decades. You are looking at $8,000 to $20,000 plus for clean examples, and prices keep climbing as these become collectible. This generation Toyota represents absolute peak reliability, vehicles that refuse to die regardless of abuse. But one SUV surpasses even this legend. Number 1 is the most indestructible vehicle ever built. Top 12, Toyota Land Cruiser 70 Series 1984 to present. The most legendary, most indestructible, most unkillable SUV ever built is the Toyota Land Cruiser 70 Series, still in production today after 40 years with minimal changes. Powered by engines ranging from the 1.8 4.2-liter naturally aspirated diesel inline-6, making 130 horsepower, to the modern 1VD FTV 4.5-liter V8 turbo diesel producing 202 horsepower. The 70 series represents Toyota's commitment to building vehicles that simply cannot fail under any circumstances. This is not just an SUV, it is the default choice for the United Nations, mining operations, military forces, and anyone who needs transportation where failure equals death. What makes the 70 series legendary? Toyota designed it as a working vehicle, not a consumer product. It features body-on-frame construction, solid axles front and rear, leaf spring suspension, and mechanical simplicity that prioritizes serviceability in remote locations. The diesel engines are virtually indestructible. Owners routinely report 750,000 to 1 million plus miles with nothing but basic maintenance. These vehicles survive conditions that destroy everything else. Desert heat, Arctic cold, tropical humidity, war zones, and decades of severe abuse. The driving experience is deliberately Spartan, with no luxury pretensions, no advanced technology, and no comfort features, just honest capability. The interior is washable vinyl, controls are simple mechanical switches, and air conditioning is optional. But step off-road in the 70 series transforms into an unstoppable force. Ground clearance is massive, approach and departure angles are extreme, and capability is unmatched. You are looking at $50,000 to $80,000 plus for imported examples, since they are not sold new in America. The 70 series represents absolute peak reliability and durability. This is the SUV that will outlive civilization itself. This is automotive immortality. Never sell it. And there you have it. 12 SUVs built like tanks that refuse to die, refuse to quit, and refuse to become obsolete. These represent engineering from an era when manufacturers built vehicles to survive, not just to satisfy quarterly earnings reports. Real SUVs do not need fancy electronics to be great, they just need to be built to last. If these stories of mechanical immortality change the way you look at the vehicles in your driveway, then join our community. We are digging up the automotive history that the modern industry wants to bury. Subscribe and like the video to help us keep these legends alive. The next vault of indestructible machines will be open soon. Stay tuned.